Fountain football!
Alright, so welcome to Fountain Football. I'm Ryan, and this is Gary and Jake, and we're going to be talking about football. This is a quick little podcast we're going to be doing every week, and we're going to be running down NFL games to college games to high school games.
And we're back for another episode of Fountain Football. We're going to start off with some high school today. And
High school.
Yep. We're going to start off with some high school today. And this week we had Flint beating Saginaw High 26-12. Davison beat Bay City Western 36-0. Skunked them. Midland High beat Lapeer 35-14. And we actually should have some footage on that.
Yeah, that's our game of the week.
We got Amanda over here, our sideline reporter.
Yep, so we'll have some footage on that for you.
Hey guys, it's Amanda reporting to you live from the Midland High game. I haven't been inside yet, but we're gonna see how it goes. Everybody's cheering so far. Awesome band section so far from what I can hear, so we're gonna get in there and see how it goes. So stay tuned, guys.
Then Midland, Dow beat Carmen Ainsworth 45-14. Flint Powers beat Bay City John Glenn 31-12. And Bay City Central beat Heritage 42-28.
Shout out to all my Wolves out there, baby. Bay City Central Nation, stand up.
Come on. We also had Swan Valley beating Alma 36-19. Freeland beat Carrollton 35-18. And Ithaca once again destroyed
the Yellow
team.
Jackets once again.
They beat Hemlock 55-0.
Stinging them.
Yeah, I rained from Hemlock, so we
yeah.
kind of saw that one coming, though. I don't think anybody expected a win.
That's okay, though.
Yeah. Okay, so upcoming games coming up this week. We got Arthur Hill versus Saginaw High rivalry.
I think that'll
Battle
be a
for
good game.
Saginaw.
Yep.
Another rivalry here: Bay City Western versus Bay City Central. Should be a good
The
game.
Bay Cities.
Yep.
The Battle of the Bay City.
Battle of the Bay, baby.
Battle of Bay, Battle of Saginaw, and also we got the Battle of Midland. Midland High versus Midland Dow.
That'll be a good game.
Yeah, and that's our game of the week this week, so we'll bring you some footage from that one.
We'll have some footage.
Yep. We also have Heritage playing Mount Pleasant, Carmen Ainsworth playing Lapeer, Flint High playing Bay City John Glenn, Ithaca gonna put the smackdown on Carleton.
Yep.
Bullet Creek playing Hemlock, and of course, like I said, our game of the week is Midland High versus Midland Dow. So we'll be bringing you some more footage for that.
That'll be a big game.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard actually a couple players are going to be taking a kneel during that game on both sides, so it's going to be really good to see the controversy and see what really happens with that and see
At
what
the Midland game.
Yeah, see what the administration allows. I swear.
Who?
I swear.
How'd
It's
you do
happening.
that?
It's happening. Saw it online. It's going to be crazy.
So
Tune in. We'll get you coverage of all of that and make sure that your news about all the Midland sports will be covered.
Can't believe everything you see online, Gary.
Yeah. A couple of kids from Midland, of all cities, taking a knee.
Midland.
Against
Midland
Dow.
Midland out, yeah. So, fellas, it'll be really good, to see what happens there and really take a touch on that controversy. But talking about college this week, we had our upset of the week, which was Syracuse Oranges taking down Clemson. I thought Clemson was obviously the better team.
Ranked number 2.
Everyone did. That's one of the biggest losses, I think, in college football history. That hasn't happened in a very, very long time.
That was crazy. An unranked team going against the number 2, probably the best defense in the nation, just like taking them down.
Exactly. That was very huge.
Cool.
Dabo Sweeney, is gone now.
Yeah.
No, they don't. They're not who they once were.
No, not at all.
And Michigan versus Indiana once again shows why the Wolverines are not a ranked team. They barely managed to beat Indiana. Why they shouldn't be a ranked team.
Okay.
Another horrible game by Michigan. Michigan truly playing awful. Michigan hasn't played good all year. if we're going to be honest, watching all of their games. They just haven't played good. But, yeah, we'll see what Michigan does. They'll still be ranked, but by the end of the season, I don't think they will.
No.
They haven't been looking really good at Corn, obviously. Maybe when Spade comes back, they might be able to pull something together, but...
Yeah, O'Korn really struggled. He only
Yeah.
threw for 58 yards.
Yep.
That is that's embarrassing.
That is embarrassing.
But that was in the air, but on the ground we have Karen Kigden looking
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
200 yards on 25 carries
Fantastic.
and 3 touchdowns.
That's
So,
amazing. That's Heisman stats right there.
Hopefully you can keep that up and maybe bring Michigan some more wins.
Exactly.
We'll
That'd
see.
be big.
Defense looked good again. They forced 2 interceptions. So hopefully they can keep that up as well. We just really need some quarterback play.
Exactly.
For sure.
That's all they need, and it's not looking good in that.
Right. Still not very enough.
Yeah. So we got Ohio State and Penn State coming up. Obviously, those are must wins, or else Michigan's the season's over. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. Michigan State, on the other hand, pulled out a victory against Minnesota in a pretty good game.
MSU, baby.
Go Green. So with Michigan State, I believe the score is. Everyone says it's a close game, but it really wasn't. If you watch the game, it was Minnesota putting up 14 points in the last 6 minutes. So I mean, they never really had the game close to begin with. It was close in like the last minute, but Michigan State was in control pretty much all game. L.J. Scott, he's running the ball, absolutely insane. Lewerke's looking good. Their defense is looking good. And right now, I think the Spartans are doing really well. They're ranked higher than Michigan for I think the first time in a couple years. So it's awesome to see Michigan State back on top, and it'll be exciting to see what they do in bowl games, or maybe with Clemson losing now, might be able to, if they win out, might be able to squeak out and make it into the playoffs.
Yeah,
maybe.
You mentioned L.J. Scott. He had 25 carries for almost 200 yards and 2 TDs. Yeah. And then their other running back, Madre London, whatever, 16 carries for 74 yards and a touchdown too. So
and they also have Gerald Holmes in that running back lineup. Yeah. So Michigan State's really, really stacked in the running back positions. They have been for quite a while. They know how to train running backs, but just looking at L.J. Scott's stat line, I mean, that's absolutely insane. Yeah. Coming from a redshirt sophomore, so
that's good.
I mean, it'll be amazing to see what he can do, and just if he can work on his fumbling, then I feel he would be a very good back, and he could be the next Le'Veon Bell, coming out of Michigan State.
Could be an NFL back in the future for sure.
We'll see.
MSU's defense towards the end of that game was kind of struggling with Minnesota's passing game. Minnesota passed for 216 yards and 3 touchdowns, and that kind of helped them with that comeback you were talking about. So State has to work on that in the future against some of these better teams like Penn State, Ohio State that we've been talking about. That are going to be tough games for
the powerhouses in the Big Ten.
Yep.
And for this crazy week in the NFL, we had the Giants finally getting a victory over the Broncos. Mm-hmm. Jake, you think the Giants are on a turnaround, and what'd you think about that game?
They could be, but I feel like the Broncos pretty much just handed them the game.
Yeah, they kind of did.
They threw 2 interceptions. The Broncos did.
Yep.
And one was for a touchdown.
Exactly.
And so I mean, they could be turning around, but
and also,
I feel like
they only
Broncos kind of handed it to them.
They also only had 46 rushing yards on the ground.
True, yeah.
I mean, that is huge.
And with a quarterback like Simeon,
exactly.
If you're not rushing it, it's gonna be scary.
I feel like they just kind of had a bad game. So I don't know if I'd say
every team has a bad game.
Like turning around, but
they did get that first win, so that's always good for them. And obviously, good news for Lions fans, not good news for Packers fans. Aaron Rodgers broke his collarbone, leaving the NFC North basically handed to the Detroit Lions.
Well, we still got to worry about the Vikings.
Yeah, but do you think, I know this is a big controversy right now, do you think that the Packers will go after Kaepernick or Tony Romo or, someone like that? Or do you think they'll just try to stick with Hundley and grind it out for the rest of the year?
I think with all the pressure on Kaepernick and all that right now, all the media attention, I really don't think the Packers want that in their franchise being...
Especially with McCarthy. I saw his thing on it. He had an interview. He apparently got really angry when they started asking him about Kaepernick, saying Hundley's our man, going behind Hundley. Yeah. And Yeah, it's not good for the Packers. The media's trying to force him to sign Kaepernick, which is kind of unfortunate because Kaepernick's not that good of a quarterback. But
no, I mean, here's Kaepernick. So he was in San Francisco, had one good year
with a great coach. Jim Harbaugh.
That's true. Okay, with a good quarterback coach.
With a fantastic. Kaepernick had everything in 2012. He had look at their linebackers: Patrick Willis, Alden Smith, and I'm drawing a blank on the last one. But they were absolutely insane.
Stacked,
I mean, their defense was good. Their offense was great. Their tight end Vernon Davis. They had Crabtree. Who else was their wide receivers? He was stacked. Frank Gore was his running back.
The San Francisco was stacked at the time.
Exactly.
They were in the Super Bowl that year.
And they all said it was Colin Kaepernick carrying us. It was all this. And then Jim Harbaugh left. Then Patrick Willis retired. Then 49ers lost all these players. And if he was the elite quarterback that he said he was, that everyone said he was, he would have at least made him to the wild card instead of would they go 4-12.
Yeah,
Absolutely
he would have won some games for sure.
Exactly.
And
so
he didn't. He lost his starting spot to Blaine Gabbert.
Yep.
And then
come on.
He opted out.
Blaine Gabbert.
He's sitting here complaining about this contract that he's not getting. He's not getting signed by teams. He opted out of a $13 million a year with the 49ers. And it hasn't been hired since.
Yeah.
His fault.
It's his fault. It really is. He's not that good of a quarterback. He's a backup on most teams, if that. And I don't think he's making it out to be more of this
he's pulling the race card to try to get paid millions, and I think that's wrong.
It really is.
I agree with what he stands for, but I don't agree with what he's doing.
Yeah.
So
that's Kaepernick for you in a nutshell.
Yeah, we'll see what the Packers do with all that. I doubt they'll sign Kaepernick or Romo. They'll just stick with Hundley. Mike McCarthy, he's a hard ass. He's not going to try to go out and just get someone just because someone wants him to. You know what I mean? So. It'll be cool to see with what they do with that, and if the Packers can turn around without Aaron Rodgers, because I know they have playmakers, they have a defense, they have offense. Can they do it without their elite quarterback?
Absolutely.
And on the other hand, we have the Lions taking a sad loss, 52-38. I know we have a lot of thoughts on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lions starting to pull another Detroit Lions. Matthew Stafford was on with Matthew Stafford, and they almost came back in the fourth. Came within one touchdown. Of course. Obviously, that pick six was horrible. Didn't want to see that. But
Stafford had 5 turnovers by himself.
See,
you did.
Here's my thoughts on Stafford. Okay, so he's the highest paid quarterback in the league right now. Highest paid player in the league right now. Which I think he deserves it. The problem is he doesn't have an offensive line. He's gotten sacked 23 times this year alone. 5 times in the last game. Yeah. He's got to be hurting. I mean, he's getting sacked, hit, or rushed 10% of the times he drops back in the pocket. That's terrible. What are you supposed to do as a quarterback?
They're like protecting a diamond with a bunch of elementary school security guards. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You can't allow that. Matthew Stafford, they tried to get a new offensive line, but obviously injuries happen.
Yep.
T.J. Lang is out. Taylor Decker is out. They're going on Greg Robinson, who is soft, who cannot play offensive line, at least not at the left tackle position, which is the most important position in football.
Second highest played position in the league.
Thanks to Loris Taylor.
He did have a lot of turnovers, but he also did have the Lions did have 312 yards and 3 TDs. So.
Exactly. He did throw well, but again, not what we wanted to see.
He didn't play well, no.
And I know Golden Tate got injured, and I saw the Steelers have Martavis Bryant wants to get out of Pittsburgh. You think this could be a good time? Maybe Bob Quinn makes some moves, make some calls.
Could definitely make some moves.
Because Golden Tate, I know another wide receiver would be good, even though a lot of people think otherwise. I believe it would be to have a speed wide receiver. Who we don't have.
See why not. What we have Marvin Jones on the outside,
Golden
Tate's
Tate,
playing
T.J.
the
Jones,
slot,
Aberdaris,
and Galladay.
Right?
That's it. You got 2 pretty solid options in Marvin Jones and Golden Tate, but Golden Tate's hurt right now.
Exactly.
TJ is so
he's on and off.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes he has some really good catches. Sometimes it's how do you drop that ball?
So I definitely think it'd be better to have another weapon and not just to like be playing all the time, but to give some of those guys a rest.
Exactly.
Give Golden Tate a couple snaps off, give Marvin Jones a couple snaps off, and maybe avoid some of these injuries.
And give one of the most elite quarterbacks another weapon.
A weapon, right?
Exactly,
That would be
which
big.
would be very huge. Lions defense has been absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Would you guys see this week that they just kind of were slipping a little bit? I know Drew Brees had an amazing week. Running back Kamara ran lights out. I saw him jump over Darius Slay that one play. That was pretty amazing. So what would you see in their defense? I mean, I know they were kind of lacking, and I know they have some injuries right now, but as a collective, what they do wrong?
By the numbers, Drew Brees is coming off a bye week this week,
Right.
and by the numbers, Drew Brees plays his best games coming off bye weeks. I mean, throwing for, on average, 3 touchdowns after a bye week for average 320 yards or something like that after bye weeks. Like, Drew Brees plays lights out after bye weeks, and we just happened to get him after a bye week, and I think that really
That's
hurt him.
unfortunate, yeah.
Yeah. And then their running game looked good. Saints forced some turnovers, had the morale the entire game. It was it was hard for the Lions to really get anything going.
And by the time they did get that 7-point deficit where they were only down by a touchdown at the end of the game, I feel like they were so tired.
Yeah.
All of them, they were
Working
all
so hard,
just beat. But they came really close.
Yeah.
And this is their week to rest up and then just attack next week, or 2 weeks from now. Sorry, but just really show the Lions who they're made of.
How about that punt return, though?
Yeah,
That's
Agnew,
cool.
he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's looking really good.
But then again, you could see his rookie, him being a rookie, he's really talented, and I think Agnew's going to go really far. But with that one where he dropped that punt and then led us on the 1 yard line, that really, really hurt, because that's when we were down by 1 touchdown.
Yep.
You get Matthew Stafford on the 20 yard line, something different happens. With the offensive line that the Lions have, you put them on the 1 yard line, they're going to get. The Saints were going to get pressure because they were just attacking them all day, just going at it. And once you put them on the 1 yard line, it's pretty much blitz everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And their offensive line was just so weak, couldn't contain. And obviously we saw that win. Didn't get the touchdown, didn't do anything, and eventually lost the game.
Absolutely. Okay, so now the question is, with the NFC North so opened up with this Aaron Rodgers injury and the Vikings playing not so hot right now.
Bradford out.
Yeah. What do you think a record is going to have to be to win that division?
I think we're looking at a 10-6. I think
yeah.
that would be
probably somewhere around
that would be a good winning record. I mean, because I don't really see any team besides the Lions exceeding that.
Yeah.
Vikings maybe if they turned it around extremely, but I mean it was really this year for me it was the Packers versus the Lions and who's going to win the North. And you take out one of the most the Lion killer, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it makes it a lot easier for them. So
absolutely, those 2 Packers games that are like maybe wins are now should be wins.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
we'll
see how that goes.
I mean that's what we said last week. Lions, everything looked good besides the Packers, and now the Packers are just a normal NFL team. They're not elite anymore. So I mean, I believe that the Lions can take over the North. It's just a matter of can they keep executing every week, and if they can just stay healthy. That's the Lions' biggest thing because they have so many injuries and they just can't seem to stay healthy. So if they can stay healthy, I see the Lions going really far this year.
Well, looking at all the schedules between the Vikings, the Packers, and the Lions, I think the Lions with 9-7 could win the NFC North. So
really,
yeah,
9-7.
9-7.
All right. What about you, Jake? What do you see taking over the North?
No, dude.
And that's it for us this week.
All right, guys. That is it for another fantastic week. Thanks for watching again. And this is Fountain Football. Thank you.